My name's David Armour. I'm the chair of the Technical Advisory Committee, and I am going to give you a few minutes on what we've done this year, basically what we've covered in 2020. So, sorry, Beata, if you can just progress the slide. So, as we kind of touched on at the beginning there, we can't really kick this off without mentioning COVID. Okay, while we did know that COVID was coming, we maybe didn't appreciate that the extent it would have, hitting all industries. So, Beata, if we can just progress all the points there. So, we were concerned that, looking at other industries and the way other industries were being stopped and restrictions that were being put in place, we believed that due to, by its very nature, our industry, it's remote, our sites in the middle of nowhere essentially, they're spread out, we generally have low numbers of workers available on our sites. So we decided to kind of develop guidance to apply a consistent approach across all of our members. The guidance itself, the intent of the guidance was specifically high-level principles. What we didn't want is to try and write a compliance manual and instruction booklet for COVID. Simply put, at the time, it just wasn't possible. Everything was changing kind of on a daily basis. Okay. The other function of the guidance is obviously to direct the user to applicable UK guidance, information from the WHO, and obviously kind of relevant information from the NHS. So the team that delivered, the team that was working on that, it was a good team. Kind of, we still meet every week to discuss any changes within the industry and how we will kind of factor them into the next revisions of the document. At the moment, as Lindsay said, we're on version 9 and we will be looking to get version 10 out in the next couple of weeks. We originally began with O&M activities, but very quickly realised that we could continue with the construction of activities that were taking place within the industry. Kind of as we progressed, we then started to look at returning to the office. This was obviously before the second spike, but obviously the second spike occurred and that kind of slowed down a wee bit. The most recent version that we have put together, version 9, we've kind of started to work. We've considered mental health and employee well-being, and obviously version 10 will look to maybe progress that a wee bit more. Okay, and again, the other kind of positive of the guidance as well is we've involved not just the group, but also members of the HSE, involved RUK, spoken to the trade unions, and now on the ScotGov website for COVID, it directs the user to our document as the kind of guidance document to follow. Okay, Beata, can you progress to the next one, please? So yeah, looking at the other things that we've done this year, some of the kind of bigger tickets that we've done, good practice guidelines. So this is the working under suspended loads. We held a workshop at the tail end of 2019 where we decided, we got multiple stakeholders from the lifting industry into the one room, got lots of points of view, number of discussion points. It was facilitated by Or Catapult. They've done a really good job. They took all that information, put it into a pot, and came out with this kind of guidance document. The report includes a bow tie analysis that details the preventative controls and recovery mitigation for working under suspended loads, and basically kind of considerations, training considerations, and also concerns and risks that are kind of that we kind of encounter within the industry and how we try and kind of mitigate those. Okay, Beata, can you go to the next one? Okay, the next kind of thing, September 2020, we released a guidance document for onshore wind energy emergency response. So this was a continuation of a project that was originally begun with Renewable UK. Through their OREEF group, we sat with a team that included developers, turbine suppliers, service providers, and again, we all sat around the table, brought our points of view to the topic, or on that topic, and we kind of started to kind of further develop this document. Again, it sets out an approach by all duty holders. It doesn't kind of define what a duty holder is. Essentially, the way we look at it is if you're in charge of a piece of work or in charge of staff, you're a duty holder. And, you know, it basically guides the user on considerations, training, kind of likely events that can happen on site that might require emergency response and what that emergency response looks like. The other kind of useful aspect of the document is it does include kind of templates and documents that is an example of, you know, the kind of things that you might need to complete to demonstrate that you have got an effective emergency response plan in place. The other kind of positive thing as well is we've worked with the HSE on this document, and we've tried to align it with the forthcoming information coming out on emergency response for the onshore industry as well. So hopefully they will be aligned and they'll reflect each other. Thanks very much. Beata, can we move on? I'm assuming Beata's driving this, sorry if it's not. Okay. The next piece of work that we did was it was an investigation piece into turbine fires. Originally it was based on a letter that was sent out by the regulator to the industry, 2 letters actually, highlighting concerns with fires and actually asking a question, is it safe to have a switchgear and transformers externally or internally placed within a turbine? Worth kind of noting that David Goodfellow from Nordex really delivered this project. This is a lot of his work's gone into this, a lot of his time and effort has gone into this. So thanks for that. And we worked with the HSE, who kind of very gratefully gave us access to the RIDDOR and ESQCR data pertaining to turbine fires. They were analysed, and we kind of drew some kind of points out of that. The aim of it was to basically present a balanced view of the risks and mitigation related to switchgear, and we did come out with a few kind of findings there. David did. The first one potentially being that the fires over the last 5 years have started to have been coming down. These kind of incidents within turbines have started to tail off in the last 5 years. But it also highlights that there's a risk. There's maybe a greater risk to our technicians on LV switching operations and these kind of activities and kind of arc flash and all that kind of thing. So we'll touch on that further into the day when we're looking at 2021 workstream. Thanks very much, Beata, on you go. So the other thing that we've managed to kind of achieve this year as well is we're kind of the point of contact for the industry as well. Pre-SafetyOn, one of the concerns that we had, or one of the issues I felt, was that each stakeholder within the industry knew something, but no one knew everything, kind of thing. And it was, have you heard about this? No, I haven't. All these kind of situations arise. So now we are kind of regarded, you know, if there's any formal communication coming out from the HSE, it usually goes to Lindsay, the chair of the TAC, and we use that then to communicate it out throughout the rest of the leadership board and the technical advisory committee. The example we've got on the table, I've got on the screen there, is a letter was sent to us in 2020 highlighting a potential stall in our health and safety performance. We then sought a meeting with the HSE to discuss the contents, got a bit more clarity around it, and we were able to communicate that to the leadership board and to the TAC. You know, we then kind of agreed a kind of response, but however, rather than 40 individual responses going to the regulator, we decided on one kind of official response from SafetyOn detailing the kind of activities that we were going to do to address their concerns, which was received. Thanks very much, Beata, on you go. So the other thing that we've achieved this year as well is better communication. The SafetyOn website now has a number of areas where you can go and get updates. Obviously, you can get kind of notifications when things have been added to the website now. And just across the screen now, you can see examples of some of the things that we're looking at. So, for example, winter conditions is getting, you know, looking out my window at the moment, you can see it's a bit of snowfall in the last couple of days, but low temperatures. So again, we're just kind of steering users to things they might want to consider, and other learnings from within the industry as well.